baby, let's go. We have a very special edition of today's live where we are reacting to all the news that is going on across the league right now. And if you've been living under a rock, you probably don't know what's going on, but right now there's a lot of movement in the NFL. Lots of movement. Let's go. I'm hyped. Let me get IG in here real quick. While I'm getting IG in here, go smash that like button. Get this thing to the moon. Get this live to the moon. Go smash that like button right now because he's gone. I forget. Someone said it. Someone said it in one of the comments on my IG. They said the boogeyman is gone. The boogeyman is gone. No more Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is out of here, baby. Let's freaking go. It's a dub to me. I know it's a dub to you because we understand that man, Russell Wilson, is a bad man, whether you like him or not. Hey, he's had our number. He has had our number. It has been so freaking difficult to get over that Seattle Seahawks mountaintop, regardless of the situation. Again, even the team last year, they weren't even that good. They were the worst they had ever been, and they still beat the Niners twice. So it is what it is. This is a huge dub for the faithful, again, because this is how it works out. Russell Wilson is no longer in the NFC West. So that is fantastic, fantastic news. You know who is now in the NFC West? That's a quarterback who goes by the name of Drew Lock. And I think if you had a pick between Russell Wilson and Drew Lock, I think we're feeling real good about Mr. Drew Lock coming on down to the Seattle Seahawks. Let's go. Now, they got some other pieces. They got some other pieces in the trade. They got a guy that I really liked, Noah Fant, former Iowa tight end. He really had a pretty solid year, so he'll be on the Seattle Seahawks. They also got Shelby Harris, defensive tackle, another really good defensive player apiece. I think they got 2 first rounds, I think 2 first seconds. There's a bunch of other like ancillary picks thrown in there, but my goodness, talk about a blockbuster trade going down. So that's 2 quarterbacks that they're off the list because obviously we are talking about the Seattle Seahawks, but also too, Aaron Rodgers will be staying with the Green Bay Packers, baby. A 4-year, $200 million deal. They're also franchising Devontae Adams. All that good stuff. Justin E says, manifesting Brad breaking the Jimmy G trade on this live. Hey, that's what we're waiting for. That's what's next. So obviously, dominoes are falling, and that's what it takes. We have to see the top dominoes fall to then see who falls in line. It was Aaron Rodgers first. Right after Aaron Rodgers goes, it's Russell Wilson. Well, who's next? Is Deshaun Watson potentially going to get traded? Is Jimmy Garoppolo potentially going to be traded? Hey, so I'm with Justin. If the trade gets announced right now, it's going to be going up. Super, super hyped. But if you guys are on Instagram, head on over to my YouTube. I'm going to get off IG because I got to make sure my phone is locked and loaded, making sure I'm getting all the updates. So if you guys do want to continue the conversation, you can join me on YouTube at the SF Niners. We're going to keep this conversation going for a while, but like I said, I do want to get my phone ready to go for any situations that are about to go down, specifically potential Jimmy Garoppolo trade to happen. Also, at the end, we're going to do unboxing. Shout out the homies at Residency. They sent me a new hat. So I just came back from Indianapolis. So I had this waiting for me. So we're going to do a unboxing here as well at the end. But like I said, hop over to YouTube. Let me know that you're making the great migration on the way over. I'll give you a shout out on your way in. Good to see you guys, but let's keep talking about this over on YouTube. Appreciate everyone out here on Instagram, but we're going to keep this thing rocking on YouTube. I'll see you guys over there in a second. All right, let's get this thing moving. I'm hyped. All right, let me get this down. Let me get this down. All right. Discard. Let's go, baby. All right. From IG, look at the great migration. Let's go. Shout out to IG squad making it over. We got Facebook in the building. We got all the squad in the building. If you're just hopping in, make sure you smash that like button. Let's get this stream to the moon because the SDS squad is vibing today. Let's freaking go. SDS in the building. What's up, Jesus? What's up, the whole family? I haven't even said what's up yet. Man. I'm just too freaking hyped right now. Let's go. We got everyone filtering in. Let's go from IG. Tap in with your boy. Oh, we got some news. Breaking news. 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo underwent shoulder surgery today per sources. All went as expected. Successful surgery. The plan and hope is Garoppolo is throwing well ahead of training camp. Only question, which team's camp will it be? There we go, ladies and gentlemen. One of the 49ers dominoes is falling right now, right in front of us, just right now. Mike Garoppolo has reported 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo underwent surgery today. So as he is saying, Jimmy Garoppolo, the surgery went well. It's been confirmed. It's happened. It's good. Again, we've been talking about this for quite some time. Teams don't really have necessarily too much of a concern about the surgery. Probably some of the things that they wanted to understand is once they got in, did the surgery, how did it go? Did they find something that maybe they didn't anticipate, and see how he came out on the other side? As it's being reported right now from Mike Garoppolo, everything seems to have gone well. So the next question for 49er fans is, when will that Jimmy Garoppolo trade chip fall? Could happen any day. Obviously, the situation with the surgery has been a little bit of a hang up, but again, everything that we are hearing, it doesn't sound too serious. But my goodness, we are getting all kinds of stuff. Let me get this post out. You guys pop it in the chat. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let's poll, baby. Let's poll the chat today. Let's poll the chat. I miss you guys. I didn't even see you guys yesterday. I was traveling all day. Tell me, when do you think Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded? Does he get traded today? Are they going to announce it? When do you think that we will hear Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded? And where do you think Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded? I want to see what you guys think in the chat, and then we will talk about what I've heard fresh off the combine, because there has been a lot of conversation around Jimmy Garoppolo at the NFL combine, where he fits, where he's going to land, and there is a consensus to where people think he will land, and that is NFL folks, people who do this every day. This ain't Joe Blow on Twitter we're talking about. We're talking about the elite NFL personnel who are talking about where Jimmy Garoppolo could potentially land. I want to see what you guys think. I want to see what you think he's going to go and when he's going to go. We're getting tomorrow. Dylan wants it tonight. Tomorrow. I could see tomorrow. I think that Mike Garoppolo report is a slight indication of that was our update. Damian saying Friday. Jesus wants today to the Steelers. Trunks is saying Jimmy to New Orleans. Oh boy, baby. Amateur Draft Scout says Friday to the Giants. Could be. But let me get this post out here, family, and then we'll get back to chopping it all up. But again, if you're just joining us, Jimmy Garoppolo has had shoulder surgery today, and everything has went per plan, which is good news for not only Jimmy Garoppolo, but for 49er fans and the team that will be potentially trading for him. But let me get this post out and then we will dive into it all. Man, what a day it has been, ladies and gentlemen. Are you guys excited or what? I mean, today this is peak off-season fun, man. This is why the people get bummed about the offseason, but this stuff is fun. This is where teams are built. This is where championships are won. This is how it's done in the offseason. We're going to see how the NFL landscape will look when it's all said and done, but it has begun. 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo has underwent a successful shoulder surgery today and is on track to be throwing by training camp per Mike at Mike Garoppolo. All right. We are going to get IG post out. 49ers Jimmy Garoppolo has underwent a successful shoulder surgery today and is on track to be thrown by training camp. Ooh, that feels pertinent. I like the timing of it. I like the timing that with all this news of the quarterback situation, that situation feels it's timed a very specific way. Feels like it's timed a very specific way. All right, getting Twitter out. All right. We got the post out onto Twitter. Let's go, baby. We out there. All right. Man, all kinds of stuff going down. It just feels like the news is going to keep on coming. So, do we think that the 49 or let's say the Seattle Seahawks are the Seattle Seahawks going to go into next year um with Mr. Drew Lock as their quarterback? I'm not sure that they do. So, some other things to be thinking about, quarterbacks who can be available, guys like Deshaun Watson. Does Deshaun Watson get traded? Plenty of moving parts going on here. But my goodness, this is just let's celebrate a little bit. Let's celebrate a little bit, all right? Like this is a good day, man. And I'm going to tell you why it's a good day specifically for me. This is like a full circle thing for me because I was a big Russell Wilson fan. You guys know I'm big into the draft, I'm big into evaluation. Russell Wilson going from NC State to Wisconsin, the way he went from a spread scheme to a pro style scheme at Wisconsin, I knew Russell Wilson was going to be good, man. I knew. People just talked about his height all the time. Oh, he's too short. He's too short. I'm like, man, you guys don't see it. Russell Wilson is going to be legit. And I'll never forget the day that the Seattle Seahawks drafted Russell Wilson and my stomach literally turned. Do you know why my stomach literally turned? The day that the Seattle Seahawks drafted Russell Wilson? Look at the last decade. You want to know why I didn't feel good? Look at the last decade. That will tell you exactly why I didn't feel good because Russell Wilson owned us. So, my goodness, like I can't believe what we're dealing with right now. What a situation that has developed here. My goodness, I just cannot fathom it. I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because, again, I knew what was coming. I knew when they took Russell Wilson and they stuck him with Pistol Pete, I was like, oh, son of like in our division, really? In our division? This is disgusting. And hey, we had to deal with it. He won a championship. He stopped the path to the Super Bowl was through Seattle at one point. We know it. It was tough, man. It was tough. Michael Caldwell says Brad with Russ and Aaron off the board. Does this in any way raise the value or hype? Great, great question, Michael. Fantastic question. And before we get into it, listen to Jesus. We got a lot of people in here. Smash that like button. We got almost 300 people in here. Smash that like button. Let's get this thing up. But let's get back to that fantastic question by Michael. Dude, I know you guys saw I know you guys saw how much Russ just went for. Again, let me recap it for you. Let me recap the trade compensation in which Russell Wilson got. Let me pull it up here on the screen so we can all look at it together. Let me get it going because I absolutely believe that with the situation going on and how the compensation of which they got in return, I absolutely believe that the value for Jimmy Garoppolo, the price just went up. The price has just gone up for Jimmy Garoppolo. And let's take a look. Because again, we were talking about it all offseason. What is Jimmy worth? Is he worth a first? Is he worth a second? Maybe a little bit more. What's Jimmy worth? But look at the haul. Look at the haul that they got for Russell Wilson. Look at that haul that they got for Russell Wilson. Joey's I'm checking right now, Joey. Hold on one sec. Uh I like that. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, that might get posted. Shout out Joey for sending me that. Was that on Russ? Was that on Russ? Let's go. That's dope. I like that. That's funny. I might pull that up in a second. But let's talk about the value really quickly. Let's attack this topic from Michael. Shout out Michael for the super chat and a great question. This is what it was. This is the haul right here. 2 first round picks, 2 second round picks, a fifth rounder, Drew Lock. So we got a quarterback in return. Shelby Harris, who is a plus average, he's above average to almost top tier level NFL defensive tackle. And you get Noah Fant. Noah Fant is a former first round pick. He is a phenomenal tight end, extremely athletic, extremely dangerous, solid pass catcher. Very, very, very good. That is what it took to get Russell Wilson. Plus, they got a fourth round pick. Good for them. Good for them. They got a fourth rounder in return. But when you look at the compensation and then you go back and you look at, okay, you look at how much it cost to retain Aaron Rodgers. It costs a lot of money. 4 years, $200 million, making him the highest paid player ever in the NFL per year average. That's 50 million a year, ladies and gentlemen. Again, with all things considered, context and everything put into it, with Jimmy Garoppolo being $25 million right now, that seems like a great value, does it not? Does it not, when you look across the table, when you see a, what is he, 39-year-old quarterback getting a 50 million year per average deal? Now we get it. Aaron Rodgers back-to-back MVP. He's really, really good. Just in breaking news, Chris Godwin has been tagged by the Buccaneers. So all kinds of stuff dropping today. Again, the Packers also franchised Devontae Adams as well. So the cost so far is at a very, very high level. Very high level. Um, so that being said, what is that? How does that translate to Jimmy Garoppolo? We understand the 49ers are in a great spot right now because when you look at this draft class, when you look at these quarterbacks that are coming up, yeah, Malik Willis looks nice. Kenny Pickett, Hey, he looks good. Oh, but he's got really small hands. There's a lot of questions around these prospects. There is a lot of concern about these upcoming prospects if they can be that guy. If anything, they appear to be more developmental than anything else. So, again, when you have a Jimmy Garoppolo sitting there who's taken a team to the NFC Championship in 2 of the last 3 years, 1 year he didn't, he was hurt for the most of it. You can, again, you can rationalize, and you hear people all across the league who know Jimmy Garoppolo. You have guys in the media, Rob Ninkovich, who are going to stand up and say Jimmy Garoppolo's that guy. He's going to help you come in and win football games. You got guys on teams who know about Jimmy Garoppolo. They're the same that if we want to win games, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be able to come in here and get that done. So, based on the original question, does this raise Jimmy's value? I would say so, man. I would say so. I'm going to go ahead and say, go out on a limb that the 49ers could potentially get a first round pick from the right one. Whether that's the Saints, again, you go to the Colts. So, also back to the conversations that were happening at the combine, there's a lot of belief. There's a lot of belief that the 49ers and the Colts could be getting something done, if not done already. And this could just be a situation where we're just kind of waiting and seeing. We're letting the dominoes fall. Again, we've heard reports about the Saints being interested. We wanted to see how the Denver Broncos were going to react to the Aaron Rodgers situation. Guess what? They didn't get Aaron Rodgers. So what did they do immediately? They immediately traded this haul for Russell Wilson. So as a result, that means that those quarterbacks are taken care of, and that list of available guys who can come in and win you games is very small. So we are back to the supply and demand model. And in this economics discussion, the supply is thin, razor thin. Again, these quarterbacks coming out of this draft are not comparable to last year's class. If Trey Lance was coming out, we've heard it from straight from the combine. All the people at the combine were saying this, and we've heard it from a bunch of other people. If Trey Lance was coming out in this class, Trey Lance would be a lock to probably be the first round pick. Jacksonville probably trades out. Someone moves up to come get Trey Lance. Trey Lance would be the number one overall pick in this class. So, that being said, again, the lack of talent coming into the from the drafts, you look across the league, the available quarterbacks who you can be had, it is thin. The margins are razor thin to be able to find a quarterback who can come in and compete for NFC championships day one, which means the price has just gone up. Let's go. I think I think that Jimmy Garoppolo's value took a nice spike up. I do. So, what that means, what are we going to get in return? Again, the Colts have been tied very closely. We've talked to beat reporters, we've talked to a lot of people across the league, and we know for based on everything that we've heard, there is no chance that Carson Wentz is returning to the Colts. Like, it is set in stone that Carson Wentz is out in Indy, and they are not going to take that shot at running it back with Carson Wentz. But the problem is they traded a first and a third to get Carson Wentz. So the thing with the Colts is, what does the compensation look like for Jimmy Garoppolo? Do they have that first shiny round pick that we want? Because that second round pick, it's kind of right there in the middle. That's not great. So what does that compensation look like if a deal gets done with the Colts? I mean, 49ers would be excited to get a first, but a first in 2023? Maybe, maybe not. Does that turn into a conversation where the 49ers are getting a player plus a second in return? So it's going to be very interesting. Again, if you get a team like the Saints knocking on the door saying, listen, we got a first round pick and we will, even though we are in the NFC and there's a good chance we could face each other in the playoffs, maybe we get something done there. So we're gonna find out. We are gonna find out. Again, we've talked about it many, many times. It doesn't have to be just a pick. It could be pick plus player. It could be a prominent starter plus a pick. So there's many different ways to go about this. But again, back to the original question from Michael, the overall theme, yes, Jimmy's value has went up. The price is not the same as it was yesterday. Today's price just went up. And that is huge for the San Francisco 49ers right now. That is absolutely huge. Again, hearing everything that we've heard about this situation. Again, the news dropping just now that Jimmy Garoppolo has had a successful surgery. That is there's a reason. There's a reason with that. There's a reasoning with that timing and all of that coming together at the time it has. So, my goodness, guys, this is crazy. So, again, we're going to find out. Jimmy Garoppolo's had that surgery. He has had surgery on his shoulder as it's being reported. They're not too concerned. Ooh, good one, Ellis. Good one, Ellis. Jimmy's price going up like gas. 100%. 100%. Yesterday's price isn't today's price, ladies and gentlemen. The price has gone up. So that is fantastic. That is fantastic. So I'm very, very excited about that. Because right now, this is kind of where we're at right now. This is kind of the vibe today. We're just we're looking over there up north in Seattle, and we're having a blast. It's party time for 49er fans because oh, exactly. Exactly. Seahawks fans are so mad right now. They are so mad. I could get now. Let's be honest. Shout out, like that is a haul. They got a haul, and if you were going to trade Russell Wilson, which they did, they got a good haul. I like the haul. I like the haul. I think they can turn that into a lot of things. 2 first round picks, 2 seconds. You get a legitimate tight end. You get a legitimate defensive tackle. You potentially get a a, a maybe a developmental quarterback. Maybe something happens, but overall, I like the value. All right. If I got to put my GM cap on and I got to be objective, take my 49er fan bias out of it. If you're going to trade Russell Wilson, and that thing that you got, that's going to just be something that you have to do to appease both sides. I do like the haul they got. I don't think they got raked over the coals. I think they got a good value because again, you can get 4 legitimate starters with those 2 firsts and those 2 seconds. So, and they also got a D tackle who's going to start, a tight end that's going to start, and a potential back who start. So, when you look at that, they damn near bought like half a starting lineup for Russell Wilson. So in the grand scheme of things, I think they got a good return. I think they got a good return. But 49ers don't care because we understand that it is Russell Wilson who has been the reason why the 49ers couldn't get over that mountaintop. He is the sole reason. It is not, it's not Chris Carson. It wasn't DJ Reed. It wasn't Bobby Wagner. Those weren't the reasons why the 49ers couldn't beat Seattle. It was him, this guy, because of his mobility, his ability to escape and create outside of structure. This is why This is why we have third down PTSD when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks, because we understand it doesn't matter what position that we put that team in. This guy was going to escape, scramble around, either force the defense to come up on him and then he throw over right over the top of you, or he's going to scramble and get a first down. Time in, time out. This has been our boogeyman. So yes, they got a good haul. They got a good return. Good job. Shout out to the general managers for making that happen. But we are fantastically happy that Russell Wilson is no longer in the NFC. I mean, like, come on. We already had to deal. We already had to deal with freaking Stafford and Kyler Murray. Now we can like breathe a little bit. Now that team that we couldn't get past because of this guy, it now looks a lot different. So I think 49er fans are feeling a lot better. Let's see what the chat feels. I haven't specifically asked you guys, but let's poll the chat. I want to see all your guys' answer come in at once. How do you feel about this trade? What do you guys feel like? I'll pull all your guys' answers up. How do you feel? What is your reaction to this news? Are you hyped? Are you crying because you're so happy? Are you indifferent? What are you feeling right now? I want to see what you guys have to say in the chat. Bomb Barama says good riddance. Max says it feels great, baby. Justin says Pete gonna choke on his gum. I feel relieved, to be honest. We got a W in the chat from Batman. We got an elated. I will agree. I'll miss the matchup in a sense that is about like that much in the scheme of everything, but I'm also very happy he's no longer. Feels great, baby. We got a lot of W's in the chat. My goodness. Stud says hyped because I hate Russell Wilson. Hendrick says he doesn't care. He's just waiting for that Jimmy chip to fall. William says good riddance, Russell. Harris said, I'm hyped, man. It feels great to say that Russell ain't in our division anymore. Man, it felt like that was never going to happen. It felt like we were going to be stuck in Russell Wilson purgatory for quite some time. Did it not? It really, really did. Benny says hyped. He's been the reason of so much hurt over the years. My goodness, has he sure has. Thank God he's gone. Win for the Niner game. Brian says it's a jubilation. My goodness. Chase says glad he's out of the West, but they honestly got a good return. I agree. But no return matches getting this man getting him out of our side. He's been a thorn in our side. Just get him gone. We would much rather them have a litany of draft picks than Russell Wilson. I'll tell you that. At least that's my personal feeling. Fred Hampton says, don't celebrate yet. Seattle coach is interested in Malik Willis, so could be deja vu. I'll tell you this from my perspective. I like Malik Willis, man. I like Malik Willis. I think he has the intangible tool set or the physical tools to be a really, really good quarterback in the NFL. But the reason why I was, again, if the Seattle Seahawks drafted Malik Willis, I would not feel sick the way I felt sick when they took Russell Wilson in the third round. The reason why I was sick that they took Russell Wilson in the third round is because I knew he had the mental ability to be successful in this league. And that's where I look at Malik Willis and I don't see them on the same tier. When it comes to mental competitive edge, Russell Wilson has been in a top tier category. When I was scouting Russell Wilson, that's why I said he was going to be a really good quarterback because of his mind. That's why. And I like Malik, but I don't think he is at that same level right now. So if the Seattle Seahawks went and grabbed Malik Willis, perfect, because it's going to take about 3 years for Malik to get to that level where he is kind of a potential Russell Wilson esque type quarterback, because it's between the ears for Russ and why he's so good and why he's able to match the physical tools with the intangible aspect of the processing. So yes, Malik, I'd say go draft Malik, please. Because then I'm going to go ahead and say I feel even better about this situation. Again, if it's Drew Lock or Malik Willis, that is you're having a quarterback who has no real experience in the NFL, and that's what we want. We want that. We like that. We like that. Let me get some of these. Let me get back up here. Let me get some of these responses up. I want to get your guys' reaction to the trade. Of course, let's see. We're going to go rapid fire because you can see right now lots of people. We get an Aloha Wilson from the Island Boy. Let's go. Let's go. Laughing on the inside and outside. W, but I'm scared the Seahawks could go after Deshaun Watson. They could. They absolutely could. And I don't think that would be out of the range of possibilities. Oh, what a legendary tweet. I don't know if we can see it. Let me pull it up here. Because we had the Broncos tweet out the Wilson. Um come on, focus. We had the Broncos tweet out the Wilson gif, and then right here you had the Seattle Seahawks uh, with the Tom Hanks yelling Wilson, Wilson. Oh goodness, what a day, man. Welcome to the off season, ladies and gentlemen. This is why this is fun, man. We didn't even talk about some of the stuff that there's stuff that went down yesterday. My goodness. My goodness. All kinds of stuff. But let me get some of your reactions in here because it has been nuts. My goodness. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Smash that like button if you haven't already, just because we don't have to deal with good old Russell Wilson anymore. My goodness. Again, you guys if they want to bring in a rookie, go for it. Take him. Take Malik Willis at pick 9. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Drew Lock, go for it. We want that. Anything is better than Russ at this point. Anything is better than Russ. My goodness. It is a fantastic time to be alive. Look, man, the AFC West, crazy, man. We do play Denver this year, but we only play them once. I can live with that. We only play Denver once. That's fine. That's fine. I have no problems with that. And I know we're not going to play Denver next year. I have no problems. Hey, come on, Denver, come on down. We'll even head to you. We'll go to you. That's fine. No problems. No problems. Like I said, we'll even go over to you. Um, it's gonna be interesting too. I want to see if Derek Carr gets traded. I'm not gonna lie. I think Derek Carr's gonna get traded. I still kind of believe deep down in my soul, even though I know maybe the viability of it is unlikely in a sense. However, I do want to see the Raiders trade Derek Carr. And then I want to see the Raiders come after and get your boy Jimmy Garoppolo. Come on, do it, Raiders. Do it, Raiders. Let's go. I'm hyped. Cash the God says Trey will shine in the NFC. Trey, dude, lots of good conversation about Trey Lance, man. Lots of good conversation about Trey Lance at the combine. So many different personalities, whether it's on camera personality, whether it's former players, whether it's Hall of Famers, whether it was all pros, whether it's scouts, general managers. There's a lot of positivity around Trey Lance from people who actually do this for a living, not people who generate clicks for a living, generate views, and generate narratives for a living. These are people who have no skin in the game. The people that are talking to us have literally nothing to gain from telling us that Trey Lance is either good or he's bad. Don't care. They really don't care. So, hype train starting up, baby. I'm gonna plug my phone in real quick. Hold on. All right. Let's go. Let's go. I'm hyped, baby. Screw it. Let's do this real quick, and then we'll get back. Let's do this real quick, and we'll get back. I'm gonna open this up, see what we're vibing with. So Residency sent me this hat. Shout out to them. I was not expecting it, so it was a nice surprise to see. Um, but let's see. Residency hat, residency.com. You want to get a hat, you can use the promo code right here below. Let's hop into it and let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Again, this is unexpected. So we'll see. Let me get into this bad boy. Come on. Let me in. Let me in. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. All right. Da da da. Whoosh. What do we got? Oh boy. Oh boy. Look at that. We got another one. Oh. Okay, this is new. This is new. Oh, that's fire, guys. Whoo! You see the white and the black? You see the white and the black? Ooh. This is a nice hat. Hey, I've never seen this before. I've never seen this one before. This is a new release. This is that new release. Let's go. Hey, go check that website. They might have them. They might have them. Head to residency.com. Use the promo code DSF9ers. We got a new drop. Look at that thing. That is clean. Again, you got the Velcro backing. I actually really do enjoy the Velcro backing. I mean, this is quality hat, ladies and gentlemen. This is quality, man. Let's go. Shout out the squad at Residency. We're going to have to do another giveaway here coming up, baby. We're going to have to do another giveaway coming up. That for sure is about to go down. But shout out the homies at residency.com. You know the vibes. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, good call, Justin. You wear this with the throwback 94? Ooh. You're going to be looking spicy. So it's cool. I saw one fan. I saw one 49er fan at the combine. Saw one 49er fan at the combine. He was wearing a Trey Lance jersey and a Residency hat. Let's go. Let's go. Jesus says, yesterday I went to Levi's to get a hat and I ended up getting a Fred Warner, Greg Kittle jersey and a hoodie, but no hat. I'm not going to lie, Jesus. I like the jersey. I like the jersey choice better than the hat. I like the jersey better than the hat. Like I said, man, we're going to get Mod Squad merch just for the Mod Squad. Just for the Mod Squad. It's coming, baby. Don't hold your breath, but Mod Squad merch coming. And it's going to be just for my mods, baby. It's going to be just for the mods. But we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff coming up here. But today clearly is a great day. Today's a great day. We don't have to live in Russell Wilson's shadow no more. Kick rocks, Russell. I like you. I think you're a really good quarterback. You've gotten kind of quirky and a little bit weird. But overall, I think you're a good quarterback, which is why I am so happy that you are no longer in my division. Good riddance. Good riddance. Be gone, Russell. Be gone. Again. Yeah, exactly. The Sierra effect. Hey, you could call it the Nessa effect. Remember? Hey, remember when Nessa came around the 49ers? Remember when Nessa came around the 49ers? Be careful. Be careful. I'm just saying. You never find make sure you find the right one. Make sure you find the right one. Any of my athletes vibing with me. Any 49er of our 49ers players uh just hiding in the background watching the live. Make sure you got a real one. Make sure you got a real one. No Nessa effect, no Sierra effect, no Patrick Mahomes' wife effect. Be gone. Be gone. Be very careful. Pick the right one, ladies, gentlemen. Pick the right one. I'm having a blast today, guys. Oh, what a week. What a week. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy. Justin says, I want to be buried in my mod squad merch. It's coming, baby. We're gonna get that wrench gear going. I appreciate all my mods, bro. I appreciate all the squad. I appreciate all the squad. We're gonna get SDS merch. We're gonna get it all. This off season, merch gang gonna get kicked to a different level. But when I have it, we're dropping it. We are dropping it. I'm hyped, man. I'm really hyped. Let's kind of go back. Uh, what other things can we touch on here today? Of course, big stuff around um, the quarterback stuff. Yesterday, the 49ers were able to solidify their coaching staff. We grabbed the former Seattle Seahawks special teams coordinator. He's now our special teams coordinator. They filled out their roster. They have completely hired an entire coaching staff. It is official. The 49ers have a coaching staff. And so now we're ready to go. Going to be very interesting to see what the draft plans look like, how everything falls into place. But I'm really excited about it. We did get an update yesterday from Arden Key. Arden Key, shout out the homie. He was doing IG live yesterday. He wanted questions. So I just peppered him with a ton of questions. He talked about Trey Lance. He talked about his contract. He talked about all kinds of stuff. So Arden Key did mention what we hear quite a bit from 49ers players who are discussing contracts with the 49ers. Got to come correct. It sounds like the 49ers are engaging with contract negotiations with Arden Key. However, it's not to the level in which that Arden Key thinks he is valued. So we're going to have to find out. But we also recognize that the 49ers got to pay some people. The 49ers still they're going to have to pay Debo Samuel. They're going to have to pay Nick Bosa. And there's some money to go around. So guys like Arden Key, DJ Jones, Laken Tomlinson, those types of guys that we really like might find themselves on the other side of the conversation because when we look at it, there's not a ton of money to go around. Let's just be honest. There isn't. And especially with Jimmy Garoppolo's figures still on the books. So it is important to remember the 49ers are kind of stuck until they trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is taking up approximately 25 million against the cap. Now, it was confirmed the cap is set at $208 million, which is a pretty substantial increase. Off the top of my head, I believe it was about a 16% increase from the year before, which helps, of course. But with that, there's that increase. The 49ers still um, find themselves in a situation. Oh my god, Twitter's going crazy right now. Twitter is going nuts. Man, you can't tell me it's the dead of the off season, guys. It is the dead of the off season, and the NFL's printing money with this news, dude. Printing money with this stuff. My goodness. So Harold Landry got the franchise tag. So yeah, it does appear. What do I make? I like this question. What do I make of the Kyler Murray contract issues? If you guys saw Kyler Murray, he brought back all his posts. So the Cardinals are back onto his they're back onto his thing. Maybe he gets the contract extension. We'll see. I just think it's funny, man. I want them. Like, I think Kyler Murray's a good quarterback, but he has a little bit of that diva side to him. That you guys want to pair Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, I would be okay with that. Now, clearly, 49ers have had some trouble with Arizona as of late, but that's more on them than I would say on the Cardinals. It was just I don't. It's one of those things, man, where I'm looking at that situation, and that to me feels more like the 49ers just dropping the ball rather than the Cardinals just straight dunking on us. It feels more like the 49ers just not being prepared. Um, it was we didn't even get beat by Kyler. That's what was that second time? It was freaking Colt McCoy and the backups. So quite the developments. Quite the developments. I wouldn't mind this, to be honest. If you want to grab Colt McCoy as a backup, I wouldn't mind that. And I think he does have a little bit of experience with Kyle. I believe he was with the Redskins for a little bit. I don't know if there was the overlap, but I wouldn't mind Colt McCoy. I would not. I would not. And if you guys do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will answer them. So if you guys do have any questions, go ahead, drop them in the chat. We'll get them. If you guys noticed, I got my you see my official combine backdrop. I threw this up literally 30 seconds before I hit live, so it's not perfect yet, but I got my this is on the field. This graphic was on the field at the combine, and I got a souvenir. Shout out my homie who let me snag that. My official NFL combine backdrop behind me. But my goodness, what a fun time. When do I think we will trade Jimmy Garoppolo? Still no Rice jersey. Still no Rice jersey. Let's go. You mean to tell me you have an NFL flag but no Jerry Rice jersey? Let's go. Still no Jerry Rice. Fake fan. Let's go. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Rod says, hell, even I have a Rice jersey. Let's go. That was a good one. Thank you for bringing that back. We can never let that die. We can never ever let that experience die. We together are bonded through the no rice jersey. We are bonded through the no rice jersey. You know what the best part is? The best part of it, I ended it with a Maurice Jones-Drew jersey, right? I ended it with the Maurice Jones-Drew jersey. I got to chop it up with Maurice Jones-Drew for about 30 minutes, just shooting it like we were homies, bro. On the field at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, in between him doing NFL Network spots, he was just posted up on the railing. Me, Jordan, sitting there. He's asking us questions about the 49ers. Like, so what's going on with Brandon Ayuk? Like, what's going on with this? He's asking us questions about the 49ers. We're asking him about his input on the 49ers. And I love that the last jersey that I threw up from that live was the MJD jersey. And I got to talk to that boy for a solid 30 minutes. MJD is cool as hell, man. Uh breaking. Maurice Jones-Drew does not like Trey Sermon. Not at all. Maurice Jones-Drew not like selection of Trey Sermon. Does not feel Trey Sermon is a fit. I won't quote him exactly, but he is not a fan of Trey Sermon. So again, MJD. Oh, we're throwing it way back. Pickle juice, the goats, the mailman. Yep, we're gonna add another inside joke to the mix. It's now the Jerry Rice jersey. Still pissed they picked Sermon over Michael Carter. Yeah, you probably should be. You probably should be. But yeah, MJD, not a fan. Not a fan of Trey Sermon. Not a fan of the fit. Also, was a fan of Aaron Banks. He said, "Don't you sleep on Aaron Banks." He said, "Don't you sleep on Aaron Banks." So, so much good insight, man. So much good insight. So many great conversations from the combine, man. Fantastic. Good stuff. It was great. Great stuff. Uh Joey says that makes sense because Trey Sermon isn't any good. Oh my god. Yeah, he needs some time. Again, he's got to learn how to run in this scheme, and it's going to be much different than what he was able to do in college. So we're gonna have to find out. Um, do you think we can sign and trade Lakin? No, I don't think that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be a situation where Lakin is likely going to have a lot of people interested in his services, and I imagine Lakin signs elsewhere. Again, I don't know um, how that fits into the scope of how much money the 49ers have to spend. Uh, because like I said, we still have two extensions that have not went down. Again, we still have to potentially restructure Eric Armstead. We also have to potentially restructure Jimmy Ward. So we still have some money moves to be made. And I think those moves go down at the beginning of the new league year, which starts in a couple days. Like we're in the legal tampering period. So this is all like it's not necessarily official because it's not legally open. Um, but there is a situation where they can make more room, but it's going to be interesting to see where he actually fits in all of that. Um, uh, Look at Keith Wallace's comment. He says live streams for donations and doesn't really ever say anything. Okay, cool story. Let's see, what else do we got? What else do we got? Um, you think we're gonna tag anyone? I don't think that we're gonna tag anyone. I don't think that that's gonna happen. Just because I don't know who we would tag and who we would want to pay at that level. Again, it's not like Debo Samuel and it's not like Bosa are free agents, so we don't have to worry about that situation. Um, Again, Lakin, I don't know what the tag is. And to again, I think they drafted Aaron Banks for a reason. I think they drafted Aaron Banks for a reason to be able to come in and slide in, potentially knowing that Lakin was going to be able to probably obtain more money on the open market. So there's a plan. So we just gotta kind of fall into place. We just kind of gotta fall into place. Again, I don't know if people are getting tagged or anything like that. Um, and I get it, man. So yeah, this is it. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and I think that's why they got the rookie. So it's from a cost perspective and a value perspective, it makes a lot more sense just to probably put Aaron Banks into that role, and Lakin's probably going to get paid. He's going to get paid. It just might not be by the 49ers. Um, what about RFA tags? That's the thing. Brunskill's a RFA. I imagine Brunskill's going to come back. I imagine unless they tag him and someone comes to get him, and they would rather get, a third or second round tender in return, that could occur. But actually, I think they want to keep Brunskill, man. And you guys know me. You guys know me. I'm going to put a lot of respect on Brunskill's name. And if the 49ers can keep him around, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Aziz is a RFA as well. So they can be had by another team, but it has to be the 49ers deciding not to match those deals are and opting to take the draft pick instead, which could happen. Again, if you're getting a third round pick or a second round pick for Brunskill, who's an undrafted free agent, that's a W in regards to return on investment. If Aziz Al Shair turns into a round or a second round pick because someone pays him and you can't match, but you get the pick in return, that's a win because both those guys are undrafted free agents. To be able to turn them into equity and turn them into an increased value asset in return, that's a win. So, at least from a general manager's perspective. So, but I do hope both Brunskill and Aziz stick around. I don't want those two guys to go anywhere. You guys know I will I will stand up and absolutely Brunskill just needs to pretend the guy in front of him is Donald every. Yeah, I'm not. Brunskill, he had his ups and his downs throughout the year. He did. But really, after that week 10 game where guess what? He dominated Aaron Donald again. He maintained that level of play throughout the entire year. And so he had a bit of an up and down first portion of the year. But when they played the Rams week 10 and he performed yet again against Aaron Donald, I really do believe that gave him a different level of confidence. And that confidence from week 10 on, Brunskill was in his bag, man. He was in his bag and he was doing good all year for the most part. But when it came from week 10 on, Brunskill was at it. And people they relied on him a lot too. They relied on him a lot. Cub says Jimmy G for CMC. Panthers want first round pick and looking for a QB. Think that can happen. The thing with the CMC deal is I believe Christian McCaffrey is making a lot of money. So if we're going to be talking about pure roster movement and like the thought of adding McCaffrey to the roster, hell yeah, that would be insane. Could you imagine Kyle Shanahan run offense with Christian McCaffrey? That would be insane. Like he's almost I wouldn't be surprised if he's a 2,000-yard rusher if he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy, obviously, this is the key factor there. But again, that's just purely from a personnel standpoint. Let's see. This year, yeah, see, this is the problem. This is the problem is that he carries a $14 million cap hit. So again, that's a lot of money to carry over to your cap, $14 million. Again, would that be nice? Yes, it would be nice to have Christian McCaffrey. Would it be nice to see an elite running back actually in Kyle's scheme? Hell yeah, it would. I mean, it would be amazing to see what Kyle Shanahan could do with an elite running back. But that elite running back in Christian McCaffrey already is going to be bringing over his $14 million cap hit that then transfers over to nearly $18 million cap hit the following year. That's a lot of money. So for that reason, I I don't see a situation that really does exist where that makes a lot of sense. Um, Although you are going to be able to save still by sending Jimmy away, and you because that clears about 25, which means you still can clear for this year about 11 million in cap space by that swap, and you still get that 11 to play with. I don't know if they want to go after a guy who's had injuries in back-to-back years at the running back position, where the 49ers have been able to prove they can find the value at that position. So, from my roster building standpoint, I would love the thought of Christian McCaffrey in the offense. However, I also would rather use the value model of drafting another running back potentially, signing a running back that's a mid-tier value who we know has upside, but maybe doesn't have the name brand, and you can stick him into this offense and watch him work. That's kind of what I would be hoping for. Again, yeah, Christian McCaffrey would love that. Would absolutely love that. But look how much money would be tied up into that. Maybe not. Maybe not, because again, you can get that value at running back and still get additional assets from Jimmy elsewhere. Um, Joey says CMC, good player, frequently beat up, injured, expensive, good player. Yeah, he's good. He is. He is good. Let's see. I think Carolina is willing to give up CMC. However, um, and they probably would for a quarterback as well, like Jimmy. But again, I don't know if the Niners necessarily would, because the last time we got a high paid running back, what happened? Jarek McKinnon has entered the chat. Jarek McKinnon has entered the chat, and it's just not worth it, right? It's not worth it, at least to me. At least to me. Um, I would be of the mindset. Yeah, Luke said it right here. Luke said Mostert is cheaper, and I'd rather keep him. We know he thrives in our system. He's a leader. He already is a leader of that room. I agree. You get him for a lot cheaper. You can get him on an incentive based deal, based on production. You're not like a value, right? Value for that position. Kyle already uses RB by running back by committee, anyways. So build up the room. You have Elijah Mitchell's proven to be a stud. You get Mostert back. We'll see what Trey Sermon is. We don't know. We don't know. But then maybe you draft another running back. Maybe you sign another running back, and then you bring in 5 legitimate running backs into camp, and then you compete and you see which you see the cream that rises to the top. Who's it going to be? Maybe Trey Sermon finds himself on the way out. Maybe Trey Sermon elevates his game. But that's kind of how I would imagine it to be. The 5 to 6 running backs heading into camp. They're going to keep 4 of them. Who's it going to be? So, although I like the idea of getting one of those elite backs, it's just cost. The cost to obtain one of those backs might be. I like this. Hit that like, faithful. We don't have to deal with Russ no more. Harris says he said likes till 200. Oh, we can hit 200 in a heartbeat. I believe the SDS can smash that like button real quick. Real quick. Shout out Raheem though. It was funny. I went live from the combine on the day that we were doing O line, and I went live from my Instagram. And Raheem Mostert hopped into the he hopped into the live. He was in the chat just watching the live like a like a fan. He was like, "So who are we watching today? Like, well, who are we scouting?" Shout out Mostert, man. Mostert's always been a homie of mine. Um, so that was pretty cool to have him hop into my live and just vibe out with who we were scouting at the NFL Combine. It was pretty cool. He was just like, "Oh, so who we got? Who do we got out here?" Like, "Oh, okay." He was just like, "Yeah, that's just Raheem Mostert vibing with me in the chat, like wanting to know who we're scouting at the combine." Shout out Mostert, man. So again, I've always been a Mostert guy. It's only until he's been hurt that he's become popular amongst the fan base because they've realized, oh wow, Mostert really was good. And he wasn't a flash in the pan. And there is an elite trait that he brings to the table. And it's not just Brad blowing smoke up these players' asses. He might actually have a point to what he's been talking about all this dang time. Shocker. Shocker. But he's also a great person. So it helps. And he's also a friend. So we love Raheem. And we're always going to uplift Raheem as much as we can. Because not only is he deserving of it, but he is that good. He is that good. So would love to get Mostert back. You get Mostert and Justin Jackson. Hell yeah. You get Mostert and Justin Jackson and Elijah Mitchell. I like that. I'd vibe with that. I think Justin Jackson is legit underrated. I like this too. Again, I posted this because when you look at Trey Sermon's traits, he is kind of similar to Melvin Gordon. Now, Melvin Gordon was an immensely better running back coming out. So it's not like it's an apples to apples comparison, but we have seen what Lynn has been able to do with a back that has a similar archetype build as Sermon. So it will be interesting to see if Lynn can get anything out of that. It is interesting to note Chris Forrester was elevated essentially to that role that Mike McDaniel was in before McDaniel was elevated to being OC. So based on this coaching situation, there's no offensive coordinator. So again, Kyle takes over the offensive coordinator role. And as a result, that now means Chris Forster, who's been the offensive line coach, he now morphs into the run game coordinator. So it's back to Kyle calling the shots. You have Anthony Lynn, who's assistant head coach, running backs coach. So it's going to be interesting to see how those two work together. Um, but I am excited to see what that pairing looks like and to see what they get out of that because Chris Forrester, he's a great coach. He's a great offensive line coach. And so I am interested to see what that looks like. Now, Mike McDaniel, there's a reason I was telling everyone in 49ers land all year, quit talking crap about Mike McDaniel, quit calling for Mike McDaniel to be fired because you guys don't know what you're talking about because Mike McDaniel is like legitimately dude. I'll never forget last year. You know, I'm always in the 49ers live streams when they're doing the coaching interviews every week. And when Mike McDaniel came up to the podium, you know, the 49ers toxic YouTube chat, everyone just clowning Mike McDaniel. This guy's a dork. This guy doesn't know anything. Fire Mike McDaniel. Get rid of him. Again, why our fan base is embarrassing at times. I'm not speaking to the SDS. Let me make that real clear. Not speaking to the SDS because SDS is built different. But when you hop into those chats and you get those fans who just, oh, who is this guy? He doesn't look like a football coach, so fire him. Like you guys are idiots. Um, and that's what I said all year. Like you guys are dumb. Like in that chat, I'm like, if you have ever uttered the words "fire Mike McDaniel," you have no clue what you should be talking about. And if you are one of those people and you're in this chat, that's okay. Understand the massive miscalculation that you presented because you were emotional about your football team and you wanted someone's head to roll. Just understand, hey, maybe next year we don't go about it the same way because all those people who called for Mike McDaniel's head, all those people who called for D'Amico Ryan's head look like idiots right now. And I know for a fact that that doesn't include SDS. SDS, we're built different. We understand how this works. And we have never called for any one of those two coaches or Kyle Shanahan to be fired because we know how this works. We know how to evaluate. And those people who say those things are just emotional wrecks. Just emotional wrecks who just need something to happen to make them feel better about what was going on. So again, a lot of silly people out there last year. A lot of people looked really silly last year because you know why? Mike McDaniel ended up being one of the hottest coaching candidates this year and is proven to be likable by everyone. Likable by everyone. D'Amico Ryans would have been the hottest defensive head coaching hire in the NFL if he decided to go. Again, we understand football is a game of adversity. Things aren't always going to go our way. Things are going to look ugly at times. But if you're going to rely on firing people as your solution, you're probably not in the SDS squad. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. But I'm happy. I'm happy. Very happy with how everything played out. Um, and I'm happy that those guys got the jobs that they got. And I'm also happy we were able to retain D'Amico Ryans. Uh, Luke says, Brad, me too. I'm in the San Francisco 49ers lives banging with people as they're clowning. A presser was trying to tell people how gets too much of the credit for things Mike did. And I agree with that. I agree. When we saw that run game, we were seeing those Zorro concepts. We were seeing the pitches that were inside zones and counters. When you see all that manipulation up front, that was Mike McDaniel. That was Mike McDaniel. And so that's why it's like I'm a little bit nervous of, you know, how's Chris Forrester going to do? Like Chris Forrester has been an O-line guy for the most part. Okay, now how does he coordinate the run game? How does he tie one, two, three, four players? Oh no. Sounds like the Wi-Fi is taking a dump. Could be. Could be. Oh, former 49er. The Miami Dolphins have tendered exclusive rights free agent running back Salvon Ahmed. Don't remember Salvon Ahmed was in camp with us last year, or no, 2020. He was in camp with us in 2020, and we let him go. But yeah. But anyways, Wi-Fi making a comeback. Might be my computer again. I ran into some like my computer. I got a brand new MacBook, and it locked me out at the combine. It just locked me out. It wouldn't let me sign into my computer. I was on help support with Apple for 2 hours, and they couldn't figure it out because it wasn't like a incorrect password thing. Like it was the password worked, it wasn't accepting it. So I'm on my old Mac right now, which is probably why it looks a little sketchy because I think we're able to identify that it was my Mac that was a big proponent of that. So I apologize. I got to I got to get Apple to fix my brand new MacBook, and then we should be fine. Then we should be fine. Okay, good. We're going to blame it on YouTube. We're going to blame it on YouTube. I like April. I like April. It's YouTube's fault. It's YouTube's fault. Oh goodness, goodness, goodness. All right. What other questions you guys got? Any comments? Any questions? Again, we're gonna have to do a combine recap. We haven't done a combine recap yet. I want to talk about all the prospects that I came away liking, but that's gonna be another episode. So we're gonna do, and if you guys are down for that, it's a MacBook Pro. The new one is a MacBook Pro. Um, and it's the nice one. It's the I got the M1 chip and all. And it's so Apple. I'm actually probably gonna be calling them right after this. Fix my laptop. It's brand new. What are we doing? Um let's see. But yeah, so I do want to do recap. I do want to do recap of the combine. I want to do positional recap because there's a lot of players who stood out, man. There are a lot of players who have stood out. Small school kids, middle tier guys I never heard of. That I'm just out there and they just passed the eye test, and I'm just like, all right, eye test looks good. How are they gonna drill? They go and they drill out, and you're like, oh wow. So we got to get a sense of who is meeting with the 49ers, um, who's having good interaction with the 49ers. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get into that, but we'll do that a whole nother episode. But today is reaction to the quarterback movement, reaction to no Russell Wilson, baby. No more Russell Wilson. No Aaron Rodgers. No Aaron Rodgers. No Aaron Rodgers, right? A lot of people wanted A-Rod. A lot of people wanted Tom Brady. What happened to Tom Brady? That buzz died real quick, did it not? We're smoking that. Hey, we're smoking that Mike Florio pack, baby. We're smoking that Mike Florio pack. We're calling it that Flow Rider pack. That Mike Florio hitting real nice today. Real smooth. Little lemony. Little lemon zest to that Mike Florio pack today. Stupid Mike Florio. God, I can't stand that guy. I get what he does. I respect what he does. He's built an amazing platform, and he knows what he's doing. And he knows he loves to troll the 49er faithful. It's one of his main jobs. He's to troll the 49er faithful. I have it on good authority that Tom Brady will be a San Francisco 49er in 2022. I just got an email today that Tom Brady is going to be potentially a 49er in 2022. Is he? Is he, Mike? Because per sources, Mike, it's going to take 5 first round picks per sources. Per sources, Bruce Arians ain't going to do anything to bend over backwards to help Tom Brady. Per sources. So, yeah, we're smoking that Florio pack. We're smoking that Florio pack, baby. Anytime we anytime that we can twist up that Florio loud, oh, let me tell you. Anytime that we can twist up that Florio loud, we're doing it. We're doing it. And we're taking it to the neck. To the neck with the Florio pack, baby. Let's go. What are we gonna call it? What's our Florio strain gonna be? What's our Florio strain gonna be? We got to come up with a name for the Florio strain so that we can keep it in circulation whenever Florio says some nonsense. Um, we gotta come up with a Florio strain. That way we can just off the rip anytime he comes at us with some fake news, we already got the pack lit. Oh my goodness. Um, what do I think about Bears free agent Jakeem Grant Sr.? I ooh okay, we're gonna get to some of those names in a second. We're gonna get to some of those names in a second. Drop your Florio strains. Drop your Florio strains in the chat. I'm already seeing some good ones. But after let me get Justin's question, and then we'll get to the Florio strains. I like him. I think he's good as a returner. But to be honest, I would much rather draft a guy who can return, but that's not his primary role. With Jakeem Grant, I see him as a primary returner. I would like to get a guy who's more of a wide back, a guy who can play potentially running back, can play slot wide receiver, who can return. I think Jakeem Grant could potentially do that, but I would just rather organically find that person, and I think you can. I think you can find again Calvin Austin. He's not going to be there. He's going to be going high. He made a lot of money. He made a lot of money, but there are going to be guys out there that you can find who can be a returner for us, and I think that's what I would want. I think that's what I would want more so than just a pure specialist, if that makes sense. Um, which is how I view Jakeem Grant. I get it, he's a Pro Bowl returner and that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't mind just looking into the draft for that. We got Platinum Florio OG. That lisp loud, the Florio brain fart, list OG, Mike's fluff, Florio flower. Oh, the Florio Bammer. That makes sense. That makes sense. Florio dust, Flor- Florio Scout cookies, super Florio haze. Oh yeah, we're off the rails, baby. We are off the rails, baby. Florio's the new Oreos. Florio Dream. Chris Sims purple. Let's go. I love it, man. I love it. Good stuff, guys. Uh, but yeah, I am looking for that guy that can return, but I do want that guy to be a little bit more dynamic. I think Jakeem Grant's got a role. He could be dynamic. He could. Oh, this is a good one. Florio G. There we go. I kind of like that one. That one's kind of nice. That one's kind of nice. The Florio G. The Florio G. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Oh my goodness. Good stuff. I don't know. Are there Seahawks fans in here? I haven't seen any yet. I haven't seen it. Oh man, that Flow Real Diesel. I love it, man. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I'm so happy that we got some like crazy news. It's March. We have no more Russell Wilson to bother us anymore. Russell Wilson is not coming through that door to bother us. Have we hit two? Have we hit 200 likes yet? What's the update on likes? Have we hit 200 yet? Are we close? Did we hit our 200 marker yet? Ooh, I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this. I think this is going to be. Oh, let's go. We did it. Shout out to SDS. SDS is undefeated. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. I just feel it. Like by the season, like when we're in training camp, when we're headed into preseason, bro, and you know how it's going to be. We're going to grow more. There's going to be more people who hop into the SDS. Bro, when we get into like back to football, when we get back into training camp and start amassing more SDS members, I feel like we're going to have a wave heading into next year. We developed SDS in the middle of last year, but I feel like we're going to have a nice wave of just SDS faithful headed into next year, like just ready. It just feels like it because we got such a like strong base of just core SDS guys. And I just feel like people are gonna see that hype. They're gonna see that vibe. They're like, what's SDS and how do I get in it? I think SDS is to the moon, baby. Let's go. We're taking over. SDS is taking over. People like we're gonna see all those same trolls in the chat and all the YouTube lives, and they're just gonna get drowned out by positive reinforcement. We're just gonna kill them with kindness. They're gonna be like, who are these people throwing up bread emojis and being nice to us and giving us different perspectives that make a lot of sense? What does that mean? Who are these people? And we're gonna be like, it's the SDS, baby. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun, man. Merch loading. We're gonna get SDS merch. We're gonna get SDS merch going. We're gonna have a lot of other stuff going, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. It is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, but I mean, today is a good day. Today is a good day. Cherish today. Get out of the way. SDS asking for all the space. Tell him, Luke. Tell him, Luke. But today I think is a good day. Oh, let's see what this guy's. Let's see what Joey says. Joey says keeping it 100 here, and I like you. I saw you keeping it 100. I haven't really read your chat yet, so let's see. He says keeping it 100 here. I'm actually conflicted about Wilson leaving the division because now him and Hawks fans get to brag that he owned us when here. Was hoping to beat him a few times before he left, and I can understand that. I can absolutely understand that. Again, we're prideful. You know, we wanted to. you know, at least take down Russ once. At least take him down like this was the year too. This was the year to take down Russ, and we couldn't do it. So I hear you 100%. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that thought process because, yeah, would it have been nice to send Russ out the division with an L? Hell yes. But hey, just like all my comments and like what they're saying, it's like goodbye, dad. Everyone's like, bye, dad, because that Russ has been our dad, man. That's been pops. And so, like, yeah, does it suck that we didn't get to be like, we're gonna send you out on the L? Yeah, it does. But also on the other side of it, just get the hell out of my division, Russ. That's just the other side of it. Just get out. Just leave. I'm sick of you, Russ. I'm sick of you. Get out of here, bro. Like you're a good quarterback. Get the hell out of my freaking division. Please. Like, would it have been much sweeter? Yes, it would have been. But we do have this. We do have this. We'll always have 2019. And again, if 49ers won in 2019, that would have been even sweeter, right? If we would have went all the way, got that ship, went through Seattle in Seattle against Russ in one of his epic comebacks where he's always taken us out, it would have been much different. We did get Russ in 2019 and we almost made it all the way. That would have been the ultimate, in my opinion, where it wouldn't have mattered. We still could have got swept here and it would have been like, oh, well, we got the sixth ring and we went through you. So that would have been different. That would have been a little bit easier, I guess, or better to quantify if we're sitting there with our sixth ring. But at the end of the day, kick rocks, Russ, man. Just get out of here. I'm sick of you, Russ. I'm sick of you. Oh, let's go. We got Scotland in the building. We see you, my guy. He said, just heard the news. Probably good he gets out. It's going to be the Trey show versus the Rams this year in the West. 100%. Trey's coming to take over. Trey season is upon us. Let's go. Let's go. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I want it. I want it. I want it. And to Josh's point, it's always fun to beat Pete Carroll too. He doesn't care who the quarterback is. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how DK Metcalf handles this. You know, DK is a little bit. He gets a little bit emotional about things, and he had a great quarterback. But how's it going to do with Drew Lock? How's Tyler Lockett going to do with Drew Lock? Are they going to have the same synergy? Probably not. Probably not. But again, who knows? Maybe a fresh start is what Drew Lock needs. I don't think Drew Lock is like a dumpster fire necessarily. I think there might be something that you could pull out if he goes to the right situation. He could potentially be a starting caliber quarterback in this league. Now, is he going to come out and light the world on fire? Probably not. But we understand how Seattle likes to operate. They like to run the football. And if they can run the football and predicate play action, get the guy on the move, he's athletic enough to be able to utilize play action boots and nakeds and things like that, get out into space, find guys downfield, hit layered throws. He can throw the deep ball. He's not a terrible quarterback from a traits perspective. I just think what Drew Lock is dealing with is just confidence. It's just confidence, man. I talked to some people at the NFL Combine who, again, they iterate the same thing. One of these guys that I talked to trains Zach Wilson, and he also trains Trey Lance. And we were just talking about like that situation with the quarterback and how it is for these rookies who come to these teams and the weight of the world is on their shoulders. And if they're not performing right away and they're not used to what the NFL is like and how it's a business and like the crazy other side of it, it can weigh on you. And that's what he talked about. He's like, dude, Zach, man, Zach Wilson, the first half of the year just was lost. He was like mentally just lost. Didn't know if the team believed in him, didn't know if he really was the guy. Like, again, those are the thoughts that are going through these young kids' head while the weight of an entire franchise is placed on their shoulders at the age of 21, 22, being a high draft pick. And basically, we are just talking about like it takes time. It takes the right structure of belief, the right people around you to believe in you to kind of help get you out of that. And what he was talking about, it's like he figured it out towards the end. Zach Wilson started to settle down, build a little bit confidence towards the end, and we saw it get a little bit better. But what he also was talking about with Trey Lance, he actually thinks Trey Lance is in a really good situation for not having to come out and play all year and deal with that negativity of playing and people questioning your ability pretty heavily. So he actually thinks that Trey Lance is going to do okay. I think they're actually starting training this week. So Trey Lance will be down in LA with these guys. I think starting this week, Ayuk will be out there and they're going to attack it. And what he told me is he said after this year, Trey hit him up and he's like, I want to be the best quarterback ever. And when he told me that, I was like, I was like, I was like, oh, I was like, I like that. I was like, I like that energy. Like I think, and basically what we were talking about is Trey's motivated from last year. You know, it wasn't perfect for Trey. It wasn't a perfect situation. We understand that. It was Jimmy's team. It was Jimmy's locker room. And Trey kind of got put into that and had to be like this weird, like, side piece almost. Like this is like it's not the wife, it's the side piece, but the husband's leaving the wife for the side piece. It's just not official yet, but they're in the same room. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what the dynamic was. Um, and he basically was saying like this year he's very motivated to like really come out and just smash all those perceptions. And what he told me that they're really focused on this year is they are focused on, and this is quote from his trainer, quote, bulletproof. They want to make Trey Lance bulletproof in the sense of withstanding contact at the NFL level. One of the things we talked about, it's a little bit different going from the FCS to the NFL from a physicality standpoint. So, learning how to run a little bit differently, learning how to take on contact a little bit differently, um, kind of retooling how he's played football because he's been a very physical runner and understanding in the NFL, everyone you're going heads with is going to be just as physical, if not more. So just understanding it's more important to live to play another down to get sometimes that extra 3 or 4 yards by lowering your shoulder and like trying to plow through someone. So one of the things that they're focused on is they are focused on being bulletproof. And that is what he said in quotes. We want to make him bulletproof. And what's really cool, he is going to be working out with John Beck. I'm not sure, he could be working with Tom House, but based on what I've my understanding of his trainer is that him and Trey's trainer and Tom Beck, they rotate, or their training is integrated, so they don't overlap. But so far from what I've heard, Lance is going to go work out with Beck. Ayuk's going to be with him, and they're going to do a lot of stuff, man. And they are building towards a good year this year. And so it was really cool hearing, a little bit of someone who has insight, understands. I got some of the tea from what happened last year, and I kind of understand, from their camp and their perspective of kind of what went on last year, and it's pretty on par and on point with how I've been evaluating it and how I've been watching it. So again, if you've been watching us, or watching me, and kind of how we rationalize things and we talk about how we anticipate, or we are like viewing things behind the scenes, we were on point. So just understand that this year is going to be a little bit more fluid, and to see how things develop. But the hope is that with Trey Lance going in to be the starter from day one, we could see some real good things. We could see some real good things. So that's what I'm very hopeful for. Very, very hopeful for. Um, let's see. We have a Rams fan in here. My goodness. Um, I did. I saw the Trent Williams comment. I did. I saw the Trent Williams comment. I think Joey sent me that. Um, so let's see here. We have some Deshaun news dropping. Notice all the quarterback news is dropping. We got the update on Jimmy Garoppolo. We got an update on Jimmy Garoppolo. Now we're getting updates on Deshaun Watson. Again, once the one quarterback chip falls, it becomes a domino effect. It becomes a domino effect. Now we are getting reports from about Deshaun Watson. I haven't read it yet, but Rusty Hardin, Deshaun Watson's attorney, on plans to have his clients take the Fifth Amendment Friday in first deposition in civil case, while grand juries hears presentation from district attorney. It's a non-starter. I don't know what that means. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how to break down lawyers speak. But again, there's a reason why all these reports are coming out. There's a reason why we know about Jimmy. There's a reason why we're hearing about Deshaun, because those are the next two guys. It's Deshaun and Jimmy. So if you want a quarterback, who are you going to go after? I Okay. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this: Could could Jimmy Garoppolo actually get more in a trade than Deshaun right now, based on the issues surrounding Deshaun? Like, if someone's trading for Deshaun, is it a situation where they're like, "Eh, there's a lot of stuff going on with you right now, and for us to trade for you right now, we need to get it out of value, because we don't know what's going to go on with you. Are you going to be suspended? Are you going to get charged?" And they're going to keep dragging this thing out. So maybe uh overall compensation might not be higher, but the timing matters to all this. The timing matters. And with Watson, the timing is not good. And it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. So, that being said, Jimmy might be the more valuable quarterback right now based on context, based on availability. Jimmy Garoppolo could be the most valuable quarterback right now out of Deshaun Watson. That's not like a talent to talent comparison. That's a value comparison. And based on the value and how it stacks up based on off-field situation, you look at Jimmy Garoppolo, a guy who's fresh off of almost going to the Super Bowl. Again, you can sell that to a fan base. 2 NFC championships in 3 years, you can sell that to anyone. What's Deshaun done in the last 2 years? Not good. Not great. Because he hadn't even played last year. He might not play this year. So again, that makes Jimmy valuable. That makes Jimmy worth more. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what is paid for that. And I'm very excited. Very excited to see. Exactly. Jimmy's not going to jail anytime soon. Jimmy's going to a Super Bowl before he goes to jail. Jimmy is going to take a team to the Super Bowl as a better likelihood of taking the team to a Super Bowl than going to jail. So that again, he doesn't have the optics issue that Deshaun has. So Jimmy's value, in my opinion, he's the next valuable quarterback available. I'm going to go ahead and say that he is more valuable right now and likely will get moved before Deshaun because of the drawbacks with Deshaun's case and the timing of Deshaun's case, which again raises value of Jimmy because a lot of teams are desperate to get to the playoffs. A lot of teams are desperate to get to the playoffs. And if you can grab Jimmy for a first and a third after you've seen what was just given up for Russell Wilson, doesn't sound too crazy anymore. It doesn't sound too crazy because based on the supply and demand model, Jimmy has value outside of his talent. We're not evaluating Jimmy through the singular lens of talent, which a lot of people do. And they're like, oh, well, he's not worth that much because they don't think he's ultra talented, but it is so much more than that. It's availability, again, which is a knock. He just had surgery, but he's a good teammate. He's a locker room guy. He can bring a winning mentality to a locker room, and that's valuable. And there's no one else really out there who can do that. Who can you look at available right now that can do that? Not a lot. Not a lot. And teams would much rather take a swing on Jimmy and then I think than not. So I think Jimmy, even with the surgery, could command a very solid deal. I think he can command a very solid deal. Like it does feel like you could get a first without question. When you look over your shoulder at what Aaron just got paid. When you look at what they the Seahawks just obtained to trade Russ, it does feel like you could get a little bit more than what we would have originally been talking about. I mean, the Seattle Seahawks haul, I think, raised the asking price. It raised the asking price. So that's good news for 49ers fans. It's good news for the 49ers fans. So, we're smoking that Florio OG, my boy. Pull up, roll up, and twist up some of that Florio OG, okay? That's what we on right now. We're on that Florio G. You can join us or you don't have to, but that's what we on right now. And what else we're on is Jimmy Garoppolo's value. Yesterday's price is not today's price. So I imagined we can get some good stuff. Again, supply and demand model definitely applies here, but Jimmy's not the only quarterback left. Winston Trubisky draft. He's worth more than before, but I doubt him alone can net a first, second is the ceiling, in my opinion. But you have to also understand you're comparing Jimmy Garoppolo to Jameis Winston, who's coming back from a severe injury. Jameis Winston, who has never proven that he can win in the NFL. You're also talking about Mitchell Trubisky, who's the former number 2 overall pick, who got ousted by his franchise that drafted him before his rookie contract was even up. You're talking about two players that cannot say they have led their team to 2 NFC championships in 2 years. So again, you have to put that into the contextual situation of the supply and demand model. Is that not only because you do not hear people speak about Winston and Trubisky like they do Jimmy Garoppolo, former teammates, former coaches, former people who've been around them. They don't speak. No one talks about Winston like that. Again, coming off ACL surgery, that is an indictment on the supply and demand model. Trubisky is again an indictment on the supply and demand model to showcase that the supply and demand is thin. Is thin. If those are your options, Garoppolo, Winston, or Trubisky, that makes Jimmy much more valuable because Jimmy has proven time and time again that he can win games. Winston? Can Winston win games? No. Can Trubisky win games? Not to this point. Do we think that Trubisky sitting behind Josh Allen has helped him? Yes, I do. Do I think Trubisky has talent and can be that guy? I do. I do think you put Trubisky in the right system, in the right formula, that Trubisky can be successful. But again, when you're selling a team on a franchise quarterback, you're selling a guy on the hope that he can win when he's proven he can't. You're selling them on the hope that he has developed, opposed to showing you here's the wins. Here's the resume, and look at how it stacks against Winston and Trubisky. And they're different tiers at this point. Now, again, people are going to look at the talent and they're going to see Winston's arm talent. They're going to see Trubisky's arm talent, but it's so much more than just arm talent, which is why Jimmy Garoppolo was unable to be unthroned by arguably one of the most godlike trait quarterback prospects we have seen in recent memory in Trey Lance. So again, That is part of the model. Winning is part of the model of this supply and demand model. And again, when you look at who's left, there's not good options left that can really compare to Jimmy Garoppolo because again, I'm fresh off the combine. I'm fresh off the combine. We're fresh off of asking tons of NFL player personnel about Jimmy. What do you think of Jimmy? You ask any person, fan, player personnel, scout, coach about Jimmy landing with the Colts over Carson Wentz, what do they say? Immediate upgrade. Wentz over like Wentz and Jimmy, and you put those you stack those two against each other, and everyone's like, oh yeah, Jimmy, hands down over Wentz. Wentz got a first and a third. Wentz got a first and a third. Remember that. And if all these people who do this for a living are saying, oh, hands down, Jimmy over Wentz, supply and demand model, who is available? Winston, Trubisky, Watson, first and a third sounds a little bit more reasonable than it might have sounded a couple weeks ago. I'm just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. A lot of people like Jimmy, especially outside this fan base. This fan base is very picky. Again, when you have guys like Jerry Rice, you have guys like Joe Montana, Steve Young, hell, even Jeff Garcia. When that's the standard, when that's the standard of excellence for 49ers fans, there's a little bit skewed perception when we look at Jimmy because we are funneling Jimmy through greatness. And now is Jimmy great from a talent perspective? He's probably pretty middle of the pack. But what we have understood about Jimmy is they like the person. And the person is huge in today's NFL in regards to locker room continuity, all of that stuff. And when you have guys like DeForest Buckner on the Colts giving votes of confidence to the staff, Ballard, right, that Jimmy is that guy. Again, I hung out with an Indianapolis beat reporter for 2 days straight. Like, and that's all we talked about. And giving me the insight that yeah, Defo wants Jimmy. Defo, DeForest Buckner is going to be like selling Jimmy to the internal staff. People don't quantify those things. They don't quantify the person. They only see the guy on the field. They only see the guy on Sunday. They don't see the guy from Monday to Saturday. And what people don't understand is that Carson Wentz from Monday to Saturday wasn't what the Colts were looking for. And that's why they're going to move off Wentz. That's why it was the worst kept secret of the combine. The Colts are done with Wentz. They are done. And like I said, the worst kept secret of the freaking combine. They're done. And like I said, I hung out with a beat reporter for 2 days straight for the Indy Star. And all he's talking about is Monday through Saturday, Carson was not the guy that they needed. He was not the guy that they needed to take him over the top. What does Jimmy Garoppolo do really well? He's that guy on Monday through Saturday that does really well and does well on Sundays at times too. So I'm just saying, man. We have a much different perception of Jimmy as 49er fans. But there are so many other people outside this fan base that think so much more highly than him than we do. I'm just saying to you. Just saying. Ricardo Castro says Pat McAfee wants Jimmy for the Colts. Send it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, fans don't understand this. It took me it took me a while. It took me a while. It took me a couple weeks of the season to understand it. It did. I admittedly said it on Twitter. I tweeted it out. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't get the dynamic that was at play. And so that led me to believe that Trey Lance season was coming this year. I didn't get it. I got it mid-year. A lot of fans still don't get it though. But across the league, people like Jimmy. League wide, people will see the situation that Jimmy was put in and they look at that as a plus trait. They brought in the number 3 overall pick in here to dethrone you and you just kept plugging away. Respect. Fans don't think of it like that. They don't see that. And that's why all these former players, the people who like tend to back up Jimmy are like guys who have played. I'm just saying. It's pretty interesting when you stack everything together. It's really interesting. When you start stacking all these opinions of people who've played in the NFL at a high level, it's pretty interesting. So, that's valuable. It's valuable. 100%. Um Oh boy. What? All right, hold on a second. 25 save 25 mil and consider doing a trade with both Jimmy and Kittle for a first. Discuss. Brady and Gronk did it. Again, Jimmy and Kittle for a first. Why? Why, Kevin? Why? Why? We're literally talking about how Jimmy can likely require not only a first, but maybe more. But then just we're gonna throw Kittle in there and just get a first rounder. What? Why? That would be the worst trade in the history of football. Like, you can probably get a first for standalone Jimmy. You're probably getting you probably get away with maybe like 2 firsts for Kittle alone. I I'll discuss it. I'll discuss it, no problem. We don't trade Kittle on this channel. Just again, I know Kevin, you're probably new here. That's fine. We appreciate you, and we're not shunning you. We're not shunning you, Kevin. The chat might, but I just want to make it clear you've entered a territory where we're like at like 100% against trading George Kittle. First of all, like, we don't trade George Kittle on this channel. We don't even entertain a conversation about trading George Kittle. It's not something that is a realm of possibility, at least this year. Because again, you are not trading George Kittle and sitting on a $16 million dead cap hit for no reason. Now, next year, I would imagine there will be some conversation about a potential trade of George. I can see that happening because the way the money works and how it will be a little bit easier to get out of that deal. But right now, it makes zero sense. It makes zero sense financially, from a player personnel standpoint, from a locker room standpoint. Hold on a sec. What is happening here? The 49ers have made a roster move, ladies and gentlemen. The 49ers have made a roster move. Hold on one sec. 49ers have made a move. They have signed an offensive lineman. They have signed Keaton Sutherland to the roster. He is a former Bengals offensive lineman. So 49ers have signed someone. Breaking news. Not really, but it is news. So I got to make a post, but it is news. Oh, that is an awful picture. Come on, give me a good picture, please. Thank you. So there has been a move. Again, he's played center, he's played guard. He's going to be an interior offensive lineman. I don't know him specifically. He's not a name that pops up on my radar. So I cannot give you an instant evaluation of who this guy is and if I like his skill set or not. But hey, he is the newest San Francisco 49er. So there you go. He said he was fire in the Lost Boys. Oh my goodness. So we got moves coming in, baby. We got moves coming in. So let's see. Let me get this post out. The 49ers have signed Keaton Sutherland per Field Yates. Copy post. All right. We're going to get that out. We're going to come over here. We're going to post it to Twitter. The 49ers have signed Keaton Sutherland per Field Yates. All right. All right. So that's out. Okay. We probably lost Kevin. I haven't seen Kevin I haven't seen Kevin in the chat after this. I apologize, Kevin. Like I said, I'm sure you didn't. To be fair to Kevin probably didn't understand what he was walking into. So again, he's here. Good. I'm glad you're still here. And this is his response. He says, Jimmy is a third. We fundamentally disagree there. He says, Kittle has injuries and value depleting. We fundamentally disagree there. Played, 12 games and get Ahmad Gardner or Derek Stingley. Again, fundamentally disagree there. There has been so many hit or misses at the cornerback position, especially in the draft, especially high. Remember Okuda? Oh, Okuda, lockdown. Justin Gilmore, or Justin Gilbert, lockdown. CJ Henderson, lockdown. I am not, absolutely not giving up certified, solidified, top tier NFL talent like a Kittle for a shot at potentially getting a lockdown corner. That's not happening. It's not happening for me. Um, Jimmy, to me, like I said, he is talking about, we're talking about Jimmy G as a potential first rounder. So if you take away the supply and demand model, is Jimmy worth a third? Yeah, potentially, but that's not how it works. There is supply and demand at play, and which again affects Jimmy's value. So Jimmy is not a third. He is baseline second. And with Kittle, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. But again, also too, Kittle's value isn't solely on just what he does on the field. Kittle is a glue locker room guy. He's a key leader. He is a core player. And again, do you remember what happened when the 49ers traded to Forrest Buckner? Again, you can have the same argument for Defoe. You can have the same argument about Defoe that you're having with Kittle. When you trade core guys, it is much more than just, oh, we just moved this tight end over to a different team. No, you're taking a core leader inside the locker room and you're telling the rest of everyone else that you're not safe either. Oh, Fred, you're a core leader, but hey, we could trade you at any moment. That doesn't fly in our locker room if you guys haven't noticed. That doesn't fly in our locker room if you haven't noticed. It just isn't. It just isn't. Um, Harris says, I agree, Brad. I'm taking macroeconomics right now. Again, we're talking business, baby. We're talking business. We're not talking Madden. We're talking business. We're not talking Madden. This is business time. This is getting deals done. This is not this is much more than football. This is much more than football. There's so many other aspects to this than just like, oh, that guy plays on third down. No, there's much more to this. Again, when you're talking about trading a player, we're not talking about trading the guy on Sunday. We're talking about trading the guy in that building from Monday to Sunday. Fans don't pay attention to what occurs on Monday to Saturday. And that is a huge part of the equation when we're talking about value and trading players. It has to be considered. It has to be. It has to be considered. And we're pro Kittle here. We're pro Kittle. Kittle is my tight end. He's my tight end one. So if you come at my tight end one, you best not miss. I'm just saying. Like Kittle is walking on water around the SF Niners channel. I'm just letting you guys know. The bias, 1000% bias towards Kittle. But even though I'm biased towards Kittle, I will still be able to show you objectively why it doesn't make sense. But Kittle's my boy. Kittle is my boy. So again, when you come at the king, you best not miss. Best not miss when you come at my king. And this is what I want. Now, I don't know if this is going to be true either. And I'm going to be objective here. I don't know if Kittle will play the rest of his career here. I would actually, if you had to ask me honestly, if you had to ask me honestly, will Kittle be a forever 49er? I would lean towards no. I would. I would lean towards no. That doesn't mean I don't want him to be. I would give everything to make Kittle a lifetime 49er. 100%. But again, being objective, I don't think he will be. He could be, but I don't know that he will. I could see him either, again, getting to that part of the contract where they could potentially trade him, or he just decides that the 49ers decide that, it's time to amicably part ways because he'll be in his 30s and they look elsewhere and Kittle goes to another team. I do think there is some reality to that. Do I hate that? 100%. If it was up to me, Kittle would be a lifetime Niner. Kittle would not go anywhere. He would be here. He would spend all his time here. And then I would just, once he retires, he would just become part of the coaching staff. Like to me, like when I say forever 49er, like I mean forever 49er. Like he's like, don't go anywhere. But I do see a world that exists where he doesn't finish his career here. So, but I will say that isn't going to happen, in my opinion, this year. Kittle is here this year, and I will not entertain any trade conversation at all because I don't think it's viable. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense financially. I don't think it makes sense from a roster construction standpoint. I don't think it makes sense. When you look at the 49ers offense, when you look and you see how much they use the tight end and how impactful the tight end is to the tight end blocking. Again, people don't look at Juice and Kittle and look at them as focal points in the running game when they, in fact, are. Everything is dictated off what Kittle and what Juice are doing on outside zone plays. That all these linebackers and all these safeties are keying on Juice and they're keying on Kittle. Where the hell are these two guys going? Because they, in fact, lead to where the play is going to go half the time. Those two guys are extremely important in the success of the 49ers run game. When you go back to that one play where Deebo Samuel ran for a beautiful touchdown against the Dallas Cowboys, the reason why he was able to get into the end zone was because Kittle blocked 3 people, including Micah Parsons. He set the edge and took out 2 other guys with his one guy. And because he was able to do that, Deebo was able to cut back right off his ass and score a touchdown. That one play that Deebo had against the Dallas Cowboys, where he ran to the right, cut it back, and dusted, doesn't exist without George Kittle. And people, when they talk about Kittle, they don't think like that. They're not like, wow, that was important. That was important. They don't quantify it unless he's catching the football. But Kittle is so much more than that. He is. And he deserves that respect. He deserves that respect. I don't know why. I don't know. I get why. It's a talking point. It moves the timeline. People get hyped about it. Now people are like, oh, maybe we should trade Kittle. It's like, don't buy in. Don't be persuaded by the ridiculous thought process that it's a good idea to trade George Kittle. Because the person who's likely telling you that is just trying to get some clicks and just trying to gain more viewership, which I have no problems with. That is not an indictment. I get it, man. Get your views, get your clicks, Set the narratives and run with it. That's part of the business. But just understand that that's what people are doing. And if that's what people are doing and you're choosing to believe someone who is out there trying to earn a living and that's how they earn it. So I'm just saying you can believe that if you want. You can. And there's no problems with that. But just understand the narratives on what is going on behind why they're saying that. That's all I'm saying. We're talking football here. I'm not talking algorithm today. I'm talking football. And so just understand that when you're talking with a certain narrative, if you're talking about an algorithm or you're actually talking football, because there is a world that exists where people are trying to move the timeline. And if you can't differentiate between someone who's moving the timeline versus having a legitimate conversation about football, that's an indictment on you. And that's it. End of the day, that's it. And again, I have no problems with anyone who wants to move the timeline. And I don't care how you move the timeline. I'm trying to move the timeline too. I want to move the timeline. I want to get people talking. I want to get people hyped, but I go about it in a different way. And just understand the difference and be able to differentiate what is being actually what is going on, because you can look real silly. You can look real silly sipping the Kool-Aid of someone trying to move a timeline. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Rant over. Rant over. Rant over. It's fine. Sorry. Rant over. You guys know me. I get hyped up about George, man. You talk about my king. You talk about my king. Hey, I'm gonna get hyped. I'm just saying. You talk about my king, I'm gonna get hyped. You talk about my king, I'm gonna get hyped. That's it. That's it. That's it. But how is the logic sound? How is taking on a $16 million cap hit a sound logic? How is that sound logic? How is that sound logic? How? Why? Who's replacing Kittle? So it's sound logic to abandon the structure of your offense, because the structure of your offense is built off of George blocking on the edge. You take George away, you have the Cardinals game in week 5. Do you want the Cardinals game in week 5? No, you don't. Because if George played in that game in week 5, the 49ers win that game with Trey Lance with George Kittle. Do you know how many blocks were missed by tight ends against the Cardinals week 5 that led to game altering plays? I can count on both hands and probably more about how many game altering plays were impacted by the lack of blocking occurring from the tight ends, because it was Ross Dwelly and Charlie Warner. People can't quantify. They don't understand. We'll talk about football, but just understand it is not sound logic. It's not, because who's coming in? Who's doing that job? Where's the logic? Who's replacing it? The logic is then we're changing our entire offense. That's the logic. Again, it's not sound logic, because you're changing everything. You're changing everything. Okay, yeah, we're gonna trade Kittle. Who's replacing him? Thank you, Cap. Thank you. Right on time. Who? Who? So no one. That's exactly right. No one is. So then it's an admission that you're completely going away from what has worked for you. No one is coming in and blocking the way George is and then going for one night over like damn near 200 yards in back-to-back weeks when they decide to give him the football. There is no one. He is a unicorn. And you better start talking about him like a unicorn because it's getting real ridiculous. It's getting real ridiculous because he didn't help you win a fantasy championship. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that he didn't help you win a fantasy championship, but that's not his fault. He can't throw himself the ball. He can't call plays for himself. You know what George does? He does what he's asked, and he does it at 100 miles an hour. And that's what makes George Kittle special. That's it. That's it. Proceeds to get hurt. Do you know how he got hurt? Again, poor logic. Poor logic. Go back to the Arizona game where he broke his foot. Why did he break his foot? Oh, because it was a screen pass. Jimmy threw it high, forced Kittle to leave his feet to get the ball. Not only that, Kendrick Bourne missed Buda Baker on the block. So not only is George up in the air, KB misses his block on a bubble screen, and Buda dives at George's feet and breaks his foot. And that's George Kittle's fault. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. George Kittle has gotten hurt because of other people, not because of his play style. He's gotten hurt because of the suicide slants. He's gotten hurt because other people haven't done their jobs and have put him in harm's way. That is not on Kittle. That is not on Kittle. Bro, I'm hot today. What's good, Locksmith, my boy? I'm hot. You best not come at my king, man. Don't come at my king. You best not miss. You best not miss. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's my homie. That's a homie. But not only is the homie, he's you already know. You already know. I can't wait. I think him and Lance are gonna be nice. I do. I do. I think him and Lance are gonna be nice. Who's replacing him? Merch coming soon. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Obviously, lots of movement. Lots of movement. We don't got to talk about George Kittle getting traded anymore because it's not going to happen. But I don't know. I felt a little zesty today. Had to get that one off the chest. So no Kittle getting traded. Jimmy, we're waiting. I really do believe any second, any day, that to be honest, I think something's already done. I'll be 100. I'll keep it 100 for you. I think something's already done. I think something is already done. They're just waiting. Again, wait for the chips to fall. Handshake likely in play, and they're just kind of waiting. Maybe another bidder is going to come in, kind of rehaggle the price a little bit. I think we're already like locked in for the most part. We're just kind of waiting. Justin said this this is what happens when you spend a week with Aponte. Facts. Facts. This is what happens when you spend a week with Spicy Aponte. You get some spicy habanero bread in return. So nah, I just feel real confident in how and what I believe, to be honest. I just feel real confident about it. I feel real and again, we never say never around here. We never say never around here. It's just, having the conversation about like it being a logical thought. Like, is it logic though? Where's the logic? If you can point out the logic, then great. Then I'm not a person who's going to hold the line because I've said that before. Like, if you present me new information, I will absolutely take that information and I will adjust accordingly. Which I imagine how everyone should go about their life, but we understand that's not how it is. So I'm not going to hold an opinion just because I've said it and I felt confident in it and I'm going to disregard all new information. No. If you can present me logic and then I see makes sense, okay, great. Also, too, makes sense that I am wearing a George Kittle jersey. Or not jersey, but a shirt. I didn't even realize that. I'm wearing a Kittle shirt. I'm wearing a Kittle shirt right now. So it just makes sense. It just makes sense that we just had a Kittle rant. So it is what it is. Um, and also as well, we are going to get into this. So clearly, there's going to be a lot of news. There's going to be a lot of notes and things happening. So, as you know, we're going to continue to cover all the news that comes out. We're going to do live reactions. We're going to talk about it. But we're also this week going to be talking a lot about the combine because I do have a lot of guys that I came away really liking, and I'm really excited to now go hunt some of these guys down and watch their tape and give a full evaluation on them. So we are absolutely going to be talking about combine crushes. I mean, one guy that stood out right away, um, Abe Lucas. He's an offensive tackle from Washington State. I mean, he's probably going to be in around like a third, fourth round guy. He's not. I don't know if he's going to be one of those like high draft picks, but I like the potential. I think he needs more work. I think there's room for more improvement, but I like the baseline and I see how you can mold him to be a really good offensive lineman in the NFL. But there's a lot of guys like that. There's a lot of guys like that. Um, but we're going to be getting into that throughout the week for sure. We're going to be getting into that throughout the week. Um, again, just wanted to come on for the most part and react to all this stuff that is going on. I got to do this. You got, I think, was it Justin, dude? So I got to shout out the SDS, man. I got to shout out the Sourdough Scouts. I've been told about like Bo Melton. I've been told about like half these guys that came out and just tore up the combine. Tyquan Thornton being one of them. So I got to shout out you guys. Like, again, I'm behind the eight ball, because I've been covering like really focused on covering the 49ers, obviously up until, the NFC Championship. And then kind of like was like, oh, I kind of need to like slow down a second. So I'm a little behind on the scouting side of it this year, but the Sourdough Scouts, the SDS have been dropping prospect after prospect that all look legit. Tyquan Thornton being one of them. He came out, had the fastest, if not the fastest 40 of the week. So yeah, there's a lot of guys that I want to go look at. I haven't watched him yet. Um, I can't wait. I'm going to be very excited to hop into these guys. He's one of them. Taekwon is definitely one of them. So I'm very excited to get into that. But like I said, we'll dive into more of that when we're not fully wrapped up in crazy news. Yes, this is a great point, and this will be my nugget for sourdough scouts because, again, can be extremely misleading. And I talk about it all the time. I've talked about it when I talk about offensive line play. You can look real good in spurts, but that's not how you be successful with football. You aren't successful being good 50% of the time. You aren't successful being good even 75% of the time. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. And so that's why highlight tapes, it's a good if you just want a straight like first impression, of course, yes, highlights work. You get an impression of what that guy is. But if you really do want to watch, you got to watch the whole game. And my advice to you is because you have YouTube as your asset, is whether it's an offense or a defense. Like, let's say you wanted to see Bo Melton, and you wanted to watch every snap of Bo Melton. You're not going to be able to really find anything on YouTube. But what you have to do is you have to go Rutgers offense verse. And so once you start searching like that, you will be able to find someone who shows every Rutgers offense play versus Michigan. And so then you'll be able to see a cut up of every single play up from the offense, and you'll be able to stack an evaluation together. Now, it's still off broadcast, but hey, it's better than nothing. And you can absolutely scout off that. So that would just be my only thing is if you are interested, um, because this is the hard part. It's really hard to get that all college all 22. It's really hard. So just make sure when you are scouting, just just ensure, you're looking at the whole picture as much as possible. And that's how you can go about it. Hey Kevin. Hey man. I You gave me a spicy again. I That wasn't directed at you, right? You happen to walk into a territory where we are very on the opposite side of trade George Kittle. But I want you to stick around. I don't want to kick you out. You've I've seen you chatting. Stick around, Kevin. Maybe Kevin becomes a very loyal member of the SDS. Maybe. So stick around. I hope to engage with you further as well, my friend. I do. So let's call it. I could go for like 4 hours today. It feels like I could really go for 4 hours. We could literally just like all of a sudden just start talking about the combine, and I could talk for another 2 hours about the combine. But we're not going to do that. We're gonna shut down the stream. Of course, if anything pops off, more trades, more news, we're gonna be right back on. But until then, uh, keep an eye out for more combine content. Again, turn that bell on because as you know, anytime anything goes up, we're going live. So, especially when that Jimmy trade hits, we're going live. So, be prepared and get ready because there's going to be a lot to talk about. And when that happens, I picture that trade live being insane. Insane. I'm just saying. Oh, so we only need 29 more likes to get to 300. I bet we could do that in a heartbeat. I bet. Just smash that like button. Just on the way out, hit that bell, boop. Hit that like, boop. Just do it. Just do it. I need a smoke. Let's go. Appreciate you, Kevin. Appreciate you, Kevin. Yep. Stay safe. Thinking of Ukraine, of course. Crazy times we live in, but this is a nice little distraction. from all that other stuff. Again, us yelling about football like doesn't compare to any of the other things going on in the world right now. So this is our escape to yell about things that don't really matter at the end of the day. So let's keep having fun, keep the energy and the vibes up because we're gonna have some stuff going down this week. So I'm excited about it, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. I can't wait. I appreciate everyone. Wait, what are we at likes though? I want to see if we can hit our like. If we can hit 300, we head out at 300. Oh, if we can hit 300, we'll dip out at 3. We were pretty close. We were pretty close. I would say 300. That's pretty solid. I think we can do it. 18 more. Let's go. Ben just liked. Let's go, Ben. We see you, my boy. Shout out, Ben. Let's go. 13 more. We can get 13 more. Come on, squad. Let's go. We move. Let's get to 300. We could do it quick, too. Look at that. 10 more. 10 more. Let's go. 10 more. You can do it. You can do it. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Hey-oh. Hey-oh. 4 more. 4 more. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. 1 more. 1 more. One more. Let's go. Come on. Who's going to be? Who's it going to be? Let's go. Let's go, squad. SDS in the building. Undefeated, per usual. What else is new? I'm telling you, ain't no squad like the SDS squad. Appreciate everyone hopping in. Appreciate everyone vibing. It's been a blast. I cannot wait to continue to come back to you guys with more content the rest of the week. It's going to be a vibe. So make sure you stay locked in because you know we got you covered on every aspect. So I appreciate all of you guys. We hit 300. The chat was immaculate today. Shout out everyone who vibed with us. Appreciate you guys, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we're talking Jimmy trade soon. Hopefully we'll be talking Jimmy trade soon. We will find out. But I appreciate you all. I'll see you